In this box is the brand new Fitbit Air, a product that everyone is very excited about as a screenless fitness tracker finally coming from Fitbit, which is actually owned by Google. And this thing I'm so excited about because this is actually selling for a pretty low price of just $99 with no required subscription. There is an optional subscription, and I'll talk about later in the video what that actually gives you. And honestly, I think most people probably don't even need that. But another really exciting thing is that this actually works with both iPhone and Android. So I've been a big wearer of the Whoop for a pretty long time. I love that it has no display on it because I can wear a second watch, whether that is an analog watch and then this one just tracks. But the Fitbit Air is really targeting this in a smaller form factor, a cheaper form factor, and still claiming to do essentially all the same things. Let's see what we got in here. This, by the way, is probably gonna be more of a PR box. I assume if you buy this, you're not gonna get this tissue paper on here. So a little bag with the Google Health branding. All right, so let's open it up and see what the product looks like. Okay, so this is the box for the Fitbit Air. Honestly, quite tiny as you can see. On the side, you see inside it's coming with one strap. We have two other straps I want to show you. There's three main designs here. We also have the unit itself, which comes out of the strap, and we have the charging puck. This will make more sense once we just open it. And there it is. This is the new Fitbit Air. Let's see, in the box, you're getting, like I said, the charging cable. So in the box, we're getting a charger, which is a little puck style like this. All right, so putting it on, you can see just how much smaller this is than the Whoop. This is the Whoop MG I'm wearing right here. And looking at them side by side, like this one, you would actually never know is even a fitness tracker. It really just looks like a small bracelet. I like the Whoop too, don't get me wrong. I like the aesthetic here. And that's the reason that a lot of these brands are coming out with these faceless, displayless fitness trackers. And I think it's honestly a great format. This is something that a lot of people will be wearing because really three main reasons. One, when you're sleeping, it's much more comfortable than a larger device. Two, this is a style that you can wear very easily with a lot of different things. You can dress up with this, you could have it on your other wrist and still wear like an analog watch or a smartwatch or something. And it's also significantly less distracting. You don't have any, obviously, notifications or anything on here. And most importantly, the battery life on these is significantly longer than, say, most smartwatches. Some sports watches are like 30 to 50 days of battery, but again, think about like the Pixel Watch, the Apple Watch, you're getting like 1 day of battery. This is rated for 1 week of battery life. So let's look at how this actually works. You can see the strap. We have 3 different strap designs, and to swap them out, you can see the unit is this little tiny thing right in there. You just push from the back, and this is it. It's just like this little, honestly, it looks like the things that used to go in your shoe, those little pedometer things that Nike made a long time ago. On the inside, you can see your sensors right there and the 2 nodes, because to charge this, you simply place it on this little magnetic puck here. This is the charger, but you don't have to take it out to charge it. You obviously can leave it in the band like this and then just put it on the puck magnetically, and it charges up fairly quickly. So like I said, I have 3 different bands I want to show you. Google's calling these loops. So this is the performance loop, and you can see when you put it on, you slide this up and it covers the actual unit, so you really don't see it, but it's gonna be hidden down there. And this band like really doesn't stretch a lot. It's quite comfortable. I feel like I could wear this for a pretty long time. And the second band I have is called the Active Loop. It's just really just all silicone right here. So a little bit stretchier, a little bit smoother, probably better if you're swimming. It'll obviously dry off a lot faster. And again, you can just take the unit out of the middle and we will just clip that right in. I don't believe there's a direction that you need to put this, but on the side, you'll see there is a small hole right there. Correction, there is an orientation for this. I realized this later. There's a little gray indicator at the bottom that lines up with the inside of the strap. And the reason for that is because there's a hidden LED inside the Fitbit Air that when you're charging it, it will show you the battery level. It'll be blinking white if it's over 20%. If it's between 0 and 20, you get blinking red and solid red if it's at 0%. You can also triple tap the Fitbit Air to see what the battery level is. It'll just blink on the side. It also has a tiny haptic motor in there, so it'll vibrate when it has low battery to remind you to charge. And by the way, this haptic motor is also used for one other thing, which is going to be as an alarm in the morning. So you have a smart alarm on here. Of course, this does track your sleep. And if you say you want to wake up at 6 o'clock in the morning, rather than just waking you up at 6 a.m., it's going to find the optimal time before 6 a.m. within like 15 to 30 minutes based on what is best for the current sleep stage you're in. But this strap goes on exactly like a Pixel Watch strap, as you might have seen, or older Fitbits are the same way as well. So quite a familiar band, quite a familiar fit there. And this one is actually even more subtle. Like you really would have no idea. This is impressive how well they hid this hardware in there. The third band is called the Elevated Band. It just looks a little bit nicer, a little more premium. And when it comes to tracking workouts, this is going to be doing auto workout tracking. So it just identifies if you're running or cycling or whatever you might be doing and automatically starts tracking, similar to what we saw on the Whoop bands. But if that is not enough for you, if you want to be a little bit more precise about when exactly you're starting and ending your workout, you can go in the app and manually start and end workouts. Additionally, if it auto tracks a workout and it labels it as something incorrect, then you can go in the app later and redefine what that was and say, no, that was actually, a run, for example. All right, so I'm obviously gonna be testing this a lot. I'm gonna I think now is time to officially take my Whoop off and switch over to the Fitbit. Okay, so some key things to know about this. One, this is compatible with both Android and iOS. So if you have an iPhone, not only is this going to be able to connect, but you can also get the Google Health app, which again is going to work with both. The previous Pixel watches will still not work with iPhones, but the Fitbit Air will work with iPhones or Android. All right, so first impressions of this band, by the way, it is a little tricky to get it on right, but it is incredibly comfortable once you do. I feel like I could wear this and just completely forget it's even there. It's not pushing on a pressure point on the bottom, which so many other watches do. Also, what does this actually track? Well, if you look at the sensors underneath, this is very similar to a lot of the older Fitbit devices, the Mi Bands and things like that. This is gonna be tracking your heart rate, your blood oxygen levels, your stress levels, your heart rate variability, your blood oxygen, and a bunch of other things, combining that data to track your sleep, your calories burned, and it can also track workouts. It's going to be tracking your workouts based on your heart rate and your activity and your movement. There's accelerometers in here, but it does not have GPS baked in. However, when you're connected to your phone, you're able to use your phone's GPS, and of course that can track while you're running or cycling or whatever outside. This also does not have an ECG, but otherwise it pretty much has everything you would expect from a fitness tracker, including even a temperature sensor, which is primarily going to be used during sleep. So how accurate is this? Well, Google doesn't want me to tell you this yet, but based on my testing, no, I'm just kidding. Obviously I can't tell you. You thought I was gonna tell you. I'm sure Google PR, if they're watching this video, probably just had a heart attack. Obviously I just unboxed it, so I didn't do any testing yet. There's also an embargo. I can't talk about this until it launches on May 26th. So I will be doing an enormous amount of testing before then, also make some comparisons. And if you guys aren't already subscribed to the channel, please be sure to click that subscribe button because I'm gonna be testing this for a couple weeks. I'll have a lot of data to share. We'll see just how accurate and functional this thing actually is, as well as how long the battery actually lasts. So now's probably a good time to talk about the app. Sounds boring, but there's actually a huge redesign on the app where Fitbit is finally getting like the final stages of merging with Google. And the Fitbit app, you're not gonna have to re-download it. It is just becoming the Google Health app. And in there, you can either go with the basic standard model where you don't pay for anything, and you're able to get all of your data off of the Fitbit Air. You don't need to pay to get any of your data, which is very different from the likes of Whoop. And honestly, props to Google. I think this is really well done. I feel like if you want to have subscriptions in your app, you want to add extra value, not gatekeep data from your watch. And I think they did a great job here. So if you're paying for the Fitbit Premium model, which is either $10 a month or $99 per year, there's a couple things you get. The core of it is really going to be AI. There's a lot of AI insights for different things, AI discussions. You can ask what certain things mean. It's really connected to all of your data, so you can ask and interpret a lot of your data in very meaningful ways. It can also make adaptive training plans based on how you're performing, based on what you tell it. You could say, hey, I'm injured, like my arm's injured, and it can make workouts based on that. You also have a workout library. So all these videos you can follow along and do the workouts. You can do all the guided workouts from training instructors and experts, which again is kind of a nice thing. That makes sense that would be a paywall to get that. And the last thing held behind the paywall would be medical record summaries, where you can ask deeper questions into that. So I feel like the paywall, I think for most people, might really not be necessary. This is definitely gonna be tracking just fine. But when you buy this, they actually give you 3 months of Google Health Premium for free. So you can test it out and see for yourself if it's actually something you would even want. But like I said, if you don't want it, you still get the full functionality of the device itself. And as you can see here, the app redesign, in my opinion, really looks quite good. You've got 4 tabs across the bottom. The first one is like kind of your overview, and you can customize this based on what metrics you care about, whether that's more cardio, more like health improvement, weight loss, different things like that. Whatever your goals are, the first page is really going to be catered towards that. The second tab is for fitness, which is going to have suggested workouts and workout videos, as well as your workout history, where you can really tap into them and dive deeper into the analytics of a specific run, for example. The third tab is going to be your sleep, where you can really unpack that. And for a while, Google has really been doing a great job, in my opinion, on the Fitbit app of giving you high-level summaries. So for anyone who doesn't really want to look at all the data, You get a quick summary of like, how am I doing? But then if you wanted to, you can dig really, really deep into your heart rate variability and different things like that. And then the fourth tab is going to be your health, where you can really dive deeper into different insights on like your heart health and HRV while you're sleeping and breathing and everything like that. Oh, and this app for once actually also allows you to sync multiple different devices. So if you have a different smartwatch, if you have an 8 sleep mattress, if you have an Oura ring, you can sync all of those into one app. Okay, so that is my unboxing and first impressions of the Fitbit Air. Not to be confused with the Fitbit Ace, which was like the children's watch from a couple of years ago from Fitbit. I love how this feels and fits. I feel like I might eventually get a couple different bands and swap them out based on like what I'm wearing. I'm sure, Google has a bunch. They have like 4 colors in each style, but there will also almost definitely be a ton of these on Amazon in no time at all, including some that you could maybe wear other places. I think this would be nice if you could wear it like in some clothing, in some like compression shorts, for example, in an armband. Whoop has this in many different places. Right now, Google is not doing that, but I think in the future, it's very likely that will happen. So please leave a comment and let me know what questions you have. What kind of test should I do with this for that next video I'll be making? It's going to be on May 26th. If you aren't already subscribed, be sure to subscribe. I will be comparing this and testing this and making several videos that'll be launching either on or right after that date. So thanks for watching, guys, and I'll see you in that video.